Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We had a bit of very interesting news drop yesterday in regards to, one, an update in the way that you would probably least expect it for Call of Duty right now, and two, some very positive news for what could potentially be the future of Call of Duty if, in fact, Microsoft does end up purchasing Activision Blizzard and that deal does go through. Let's start first with this sort of very random but also very good update. Yesterday, Charlie Intel tweeted out saying Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on PC has several hacks and exploits right now, including a current hack that lets cheaters reveal your IP address, corrupt your game data, and even crash your PC. Activision today said that they are developing a fix later this week to stop that exploit. So basically, Black Ops 3 on PC for some time now has been completely unplayable, which you might say, you know, what's the big deal? It's an old COD on PC, and quite frankly, up until, MW 2019 and Warzone 1 dropped, COD on PC was an afterthought. It was not a primary target. It was all console all the time, basically. What's the big deal with this? Well, in the years since, obviously, there's been a lot of modded updates for Black Ops 3 on PC with custom zombies and all sorts of really cool stuff for that game in specific. But if you wanted to play it, you were, running a huge risk of potentially running into these hackers and one of these people that were, infecting the game, if you will, for lack of a better word, with some pretty serious stuff. But I'm really actually excited to see that Call of Duty is paying attention to something that is this old and this out of the current loop, if you will, and updating it and fixing it so that players can still go back and enjoy an older game if they wanted to. We really haven't seen anything like this happen before, especially with a game that's as old as Black Ops 3 on a niche platform like PC. So kind of an interesting update. We're also getting, more of an anti-cheat communication right now on Black Ops 3 on PC than we are on Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2, so take that for what it's worth, right? Kind of a weird thing, but I wanted to share that regardless because it is cool at the end of the day. More importantly, though, yesterday, Phil Spencer, who is the obvious head of Xbox and has been for a bit now, sat down for an interview in which he talked a lot about their future plans and future ideas for Call of Duty if they were to, in fact, have the ability to acquire Activision and Blizzard. Now, of course, the whole Microsoft takeover thing is still a work in progress. It is not done yet. I still see a lot of confusion, a lot of questions. How come PlayStation players are still getting extra double XP? Why do PlayStation players still get exclusive skins and stuff if Microsoft's in charge? As of right now, Microsoft has not become in charge of Activision and Blizzard and King. They don't own Call of Duty yet. They have, I think the deadline is June. So it's coming up quickly, and it seems like the past couple of weeks, things have really ramped up. There's been a lot of drama going on in the EU with regulations and all sorts of stuff like that. Personally, I feel like it still seems like it's going to happen. PlayStation and Sony definitely don't want it to happen, and they're trying their best to block everything possible there. But just based off of everything that I see come out, it seems more likely than not, I would say. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see, though, what the final verdict is with everything going on in the legal areas of it. But regardless, what we're focused on is what Phil Spencer actually talked about in this interview. So initially, he actually said that he wants Call of Duty's experience to be better than ever. He wants the highest quality games. He wants the highest quality performance. He basically wants, finished and polished games, which is a sentiment that we've heard from Activision. Obviously, they want to put out their best game possible, right? But it's not something that we see followed through, especially in recent years where we had games like Cold War launch with a bunch of issues. We had games like Vanguard especially that launched with a ton of issues. Even Modern Warfare 2 now and Warzone 2 now, they get pushed out and they don't meet expectations. Now, yes, the bar is set very high because it is Call of Duty and we're 16, 17, 18 years into this game launching on a yearly basis, right? But the expectations and the actual, smoothness of the game, the playability has not always met standards, with crashing issues, with all sorts of stability bugs, with servers being bad, with glitches and bugs and all sorts of problems running amok, right? So that's a main focus, it seems like, for Xbox. And that to me sort of leads me to believe that they would be willing to actually have delays like so many other major titles have seen in recent years to make sure that the game that comes out is the game that they want, is the game that they are proud of, and not the game that they had to push out because they have to meet the quarter four, sales target or whatever the case may be, which would definitely be good news. I've said for years now, I don't feel like we need a yearly COD. If the game can launch in a stable and polished and finished way where there's plenty of content and plenty of things to go after for quite some time, you don't have to have that yearly COD. So long as the post-launch support is good and so long as the physical game at launch is solid, that sort of erases, if you will, for lack of a better word, erases the need for a new COD every single fall. But we haven't had that standard of game yet and that quality of game yet. So curious that he went out of his way to mention that they want the absolute best. They sort of expect perfection in a way. Now, quick reminder as we continue on with this, there's a few other notes I want to touch on that are, again, I think great news for just the future if this does end up coming to fruition. But real quick, if you guys are new to the channel, every day I got you covered with the latest news, updates, intel, everything going on in COD. As we see any major, announcements or updates on this situation where Microsoft is trying to buy Activision and Blizzard, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on that. But of course, everything else going on in game as well. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you guys enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. But moving on here, another important thing that Phil brings up is that he wants the game to play the same on every single platform. He doesn't want there to be exclusive parts of a game because of a certain platform, and we'll talk more on that here in a bit. But he specifically says that he wants the game to feel the same on Xbox as it does on PlayStation, as it does on PC, even as it does on Nintendo. They recently stated they want COD to be as available as possible. And also, the main reason they want to buy Activision Blizzard King isn't even for COD. They want to do it for the mobile aspects. They want to branch more into the mobile genre with Xbox as the lead there. And COD is just sort of that extra bonus they get, and then they want to make it as available as possible. That's why he has these 10-year deals going out to different publishers and different studios and whatnot. He wants to do the same for PlayStation that guarantees COD will be on PlayStation for the next decade at the minimum. But then, like I said, he does mention that exclusivity is not something he's interested in. He doesn't want specific skins or guns or missions to be on one platform and not the other platforms. It's the same game across the board, which is fantastic news. You don't have to play on PlayStation if you want to play Spec Ops Survival for a year before it's available everywhere else. Or you don't have to be on PlayStation if you want to play the earliest beta or alpha possible. It's just widely accessible to everyone, which definitely would be a huge upgrade, if you will, and a huge benefit of Microsoft, being the leader here compared to what we have now, where we do have the exclusivity of Sony. So that could be a major game changer. He says that Sony has certain things in game, and that is just sort of how things are right now, but that's not what they want to do with Call of Duty. So I mean, yes, it is obviously PR talk. They are trying to please everyone here, especially the regulators in the US and in the UK and in the EU, to show, yeah, Microsoft buying Activision is going to be a good thing. So yes, he's saying a lot of positive things to make it seem like they want the best intent, but also at the same time, the specifics he's talking here, to me at least, sort of prove a point that there is an extra level to this that they do care about. Like, some of this stuff is pretty trivial in the grand scheme of things. An exclusive operator skin or weapon blueprint for PlayStation is enough that makes Phil go out of his way to say, yeah, we don't want that. We want it to be the same across the board. That stuff I feel like wouldn't matter as much in the grand scheme of things. One weapon blueprint, to these regulators that are trying to figure out, would this cause a huge monopoly in gaming? Would it cause a huge problem? That's not all that important, but they're still making the point of, yeah, we don't want that to be a thing. We want it to be available for everyone. So definitely some interesting things here that I personally view as good news. Depends on how you feel about the situation. That might change your interpretation of it. But that being said, those are the newest updates we have on the Microsoft situation here with Call of Duty. And also some pretty interesting things going on with Black Ops 3 out of the blue as well. But that's going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. That way you can always stay up to date with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.